Welcome to the Doggie Dojo. We are on week 4 of our training series. I can't believe we're already here. We have another 4 weeks of this level 1 foundational series on basically anything when it comes to dog agility, tricks, canine good citizen, canine fitness. There's a lot that's gonna be tackled in today's episode, and I hope you guys are excited and ready for the ride. Of course, I have my Stabai puppy here in the studio, as well as my toddler here as well. So you can hear her in the background. She may be joining us in some of these games. And like I said, I'm a dad and this is my life. And so balancing everything between is super important for you guys knowing how to do that. Right now, she's entertained with an activity right now, and you can hear her playing in the background. But we're gonna get started on the training with some basics. Now, we've talked about sit, stand, and down, but today we're going to talk about sit, stand, and down at our side. We've talked how important it is not only to train our dogs in front of us, but at our side, especially if you're going to do sports like dog agility. When you're running next to your dog, that's great because you're asking them to do things at your side, not always in front of you, and particularly not facing towards you. So we're going to work on that today. So you can do the basic follow me game where they follow you around. And then when they follow you around to a certain point, you can tell them sit and do that. That's fine. Or you can do the search game where you can ask them to go search for a cookie. And then when they come back, you can ask for a down. Or you can, for mochi, you might need to still do a little bit of luring since the picture has changed. So in front of me, he knows how to do down in front of me, but at my side, not as much. So that is really good. And then you can also you can take these little props. Now, if you're having difficulty with your dog stopping at your side, you can use a prop like this. Now, we've talked about doing this in previous weeks, but this is like a little foot target that you can put at your side to get your dog to stop at your side. When they come to your side, you can say yes and target that behavior for a stand. And you don't have to do one behavior. You can do all three. So you ask them to sit. Yes, that's hard. It's a little canine fitnessy. You can ask them to line up and stand. Good job at your side. And you can ask them to go into a down. We're actually going to talk about fold back downs today and tuck sits and what we can use them for. Oh, he's doing a little bow exercise. Yes, good job. Very good. And that is our first exercise of the day. Now let's jump into some canine fitness. And that is getting your dog to do a tuck sit versus a rock back sit, a fold back down, and how important those things are going to be in the future as we go through this series. So we have a couple different sits. So a typical rock back sit is a dog's going to move their front paws as they go into a sit position. So they're rocking back onto their rear end, which is totally fine and will be a canine fitness exercise in itself, depending on what we're working on. Now we're also going to do a tuck sit. We're going to bring the dog's nose forward and try to get that front still and let the rear end bring up to the front. Why is that important? When we go into utilizing canine fitness equipment, we can't really utilize rockback sits for this behavior, for instance, with the front paw targeting, which we're going to talk about in a future week, because if we do a rockback sit, he's going to go all the way back and sit off of the equipment. And what we can do is a tuck sit where we bring this treat forward. And I typically bring that treat up and forward and go into sit. It's like, well, that's hard. How do I sit like that? I know. Sit. Yes, good job. And that takes some difficulty. Now, while we're here, we can talk about kickback stands. Kickback stand where they keep their front still and they kick back their feet. He moved his front paws a little bit because he's trying to shake a paw. And then we have the tuck sit. Sit. Come here. He's trying to do a rock back sit right now. So he's hold that treat up here. And that's a little bit of a rock back sit. We may start rewarding that behavior because he doesn't know this tuck sit yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to search because he doesn't know how to do it on the flat without equipment. We're going to make sure we're doing that first before we add the equipment in there. Sit. Yes, good job. Typically what I'll do is start off with that where I say, we're having to sit and have them come towards me a little bit. Sit. Yes, and I use my body as kind of a barrier where they can't go forward, but then they have to tuck that rear end in. Perfect. Now let's talk about fold back down. And basically, it's just about not moving their paws. Because if they have a canine fitness piece of equipment on their front paws and a canine fitness piece of equipment on their back paws, or they're up on a narrow board or something like that, we can't have those paws moving too much. So full back down is basically trying to get them in a nice stacking position like this, and then folding back into a down where all 4 paws just stay completely still. Because if they are having to manage the wobbliness of a fitness item and have to move those paws, it's not going to work out for them very well. Then also just getting into that. Here, stand. Oh, it's like a puppy push-up, isn't it? Stand. Yeah, good job, buddy. We'll do that again so you guys can see it again. So we're going from a down. And once again, what you might have to do is work on a nice stacked stand where they're, he's like, what are you doing with that other hand? Come here, stand. Where they're completely still with all 4 paws, trying to line them up kind of equally to each other, and then go into a down. Yes, good job. And that's just really good canine fitness. What can canine fitness be utilized for? Canine fitness is important for a lot of different things. For one, if you're going to be preparing them for any dog sports like dog agility, dock diving, fast cat, any of this is super important for them to do canine fitness to prevent future injury. And that's kind of our goal with this, is to give them all the strength and all the tools and all the conditioning that they need to be successful in their sport and to prevent further injury. On top of this, it's a great activity to do inside your house on bad weather days, whether it's super hot, super rainy, super cold. Canine fitness can be a fantastic mental and physical exercise for your dog when they don't have a lot of room to run around in. For our next game, we're going to do rear paw targeting. And when it comes to canine fitness and dog tricks and life in general, dogs typically enjoy using their front paws more than their back paws. They have no idea what those back paws are doing, particularly puppies. So this is extremely important for puppy development with your dog to understand how to put their paws in the right place or use what's called proprioception to help distinguish where their paws should be in their space. So I like using a pad, something that's different from the surface of the floor. You can use a yoga mat. Now, yoga mat would probably work here, but this is like rubber flooring, so this is a very different feeling of a surface. You could even use a piece of carpet, just something that's different from the current surface that you're on. This has a little bit of elevation to it, so that could help him understand where he's getting targeted. Of course, we've done some front paw targeting before. You say search cookie, he comes up. You say feet or paws, get him on the front paws there. Search. And then with the rear targeting, it's just a position where a difference in position of where you put the treat placement. Search. So instead of up close, I'm going to put him up about here, about body length away. I'm going to say yes, and mark a reward. Now you can see his back paws like, whoa, what is that? Search. Yes, good boys. Search. Yes, and I'm using that word yes to mark the rear paw targeting. Search. I want to make sure he's comfortable with putting his rear paws on a surface. And this is probably, this next step is going to be jumping forward too fast for most dogs. So what then I'm going to do is I'm going to start to lure him off the bed and then back onto, or off the pad and then back onto the pad. Back it up, back it up. Yes, good job. Going forward, back it up. Yes, good boy. Forward, back it up. Yes, good job. And I'm not even waiting for both paws to be on at the moment. All I'm waiting for is at least one paw. We can work on that. Yes, good boy. He's kind of getting a little backup behavior here too. Yes, where rear paw targeting like this can actually help out teaching backup behavior. Search. Good job. But to review, step 1, of course, skip front paw targeting. Step 2 would be to get rear paw targeting, to just rewarding that. Adding a search cookie behind them, there's different rules of thought with that, and that is, this helps him kind of lean back and rest the fact that he's doing something behind him. So I'll actually get him thinking about his rear end more. If you give him the cookie all the time up here and or off, or doing a search like this, and then ask him to do rear paw targeting, that can work fine too. Sometimes just kind of luring around, turning around and going yes, and letting him kind of spin on top of it. Search. Just depends on the dog. Some dogs do better with coming straight on, and other dogs do better with curving on like that. Search. And it's fun to experiment and see what your dog is like. And then step 3 of this is just to kind of gently lure him off of it for a second. Have him go back towards it and mark and reward that behavior. Back off of it and then back onto it. Yes, reward. Now what I'd like him to do is to go on straight. Right now he's unsure where that thing is. Yes, good boy. Yes, good job. Very good. And we'll get to that point. We'll get to a point where he feels comfortable going straight onto the back end there. Oh yeah, good job. And a little duration to the skill. Yeah, there you go. So for backup training, Canine Fitness, contact work for dog agility, this is a fantastic game for you to play with your dog. Before we go to our next game, I want to make sure that you guys don't miss a single video in the future. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now and the notification bell. And if you have any questions or comments, put them down below. Now let's get back to the video. I would say most days Zoe is very involved with the training. Today, she's kind of wanting to do her own thing, read some books, do some activities over there. And that's fine, you know. And so we celebrate those days, and we don't at the same time we celebrate the days because then we can actually get a lot of training done with our dog. She's focusing on them, but I personally love having her involved in part of the training and having her be distractions and being involved in training. The episode's not over yet, so still could be some time for her to come out and do some training with us. This next game is super fun and dives into future really fantastic performance dog tricks, and it can be good foundations for weed pulse in just a second. So one of the things you can do is called middle. So you just say search. And when they come back and turn around, you just mark and reward them being in the middle of your body right here. Good job. Ready? Go. Search. It's important that they develop this skill before we go on to the next piece of this puzzle, where they're fine and comfortable being underneath your legs and rewarding them. This is sometimes what people use in dog agility to line them up before we're running, but also it can be used for a game called footsie, where you take your feet together like this and you lure them between your legs and then put their paws on there and you mark yes and reward that behavior. And eventually they'll stand on top of your feet while you move, and it becomes a really cute little trick for your dog. The biggest thing about this is the beginnings of leg weave. So now that he's comfortable being in between my legs, now we can actually start to do, we take cookies in both hands and we lure them through. Say yes. Mark your reward, lure them through. Yes, there we go. And then eventually you get to a full figure eight. There we go. Switch it back and forth. Come here. He's like, whoa, yes, there we go. Super. Right now, we're just doing standing leg weaves, and this is good for Canine Fitness to start kind of doing some flexibility training. Search. You can do a little search cookie behind you to help them out. Just different things. Come here. He's like, I'm trying. Yes, there we go. Eventually, we can do what's called walking leg weaves, where we can actually go through legs like this. This is actually more reminiscent of weave poles. Here. Yes, good job. Yes, good boy. Here, all the way through. Yes, good job. So, super great foundations, super great for flexibility for Canine Fitness, foundations for weave pole training, and just dog tricks in general. It's awesome. So I hope you guys try out middle and leg weave with your dogs. Oh my goodness, it's a unicorn. Did you see? Mochi, did you see the unicorn? You did. Can you get up here? Did you want to give him a cookie? For being on the platform? Give it to him if you want it. Like this. Good job. Where you say search. You need the cookie off the ground. Get it. Mochi, free. Right here. Good job. He got it. Nice job. High five. Hooray! Good job. You can go, he's going to do a down for us. Ready? Watch this. He's going to go into a down. There we go. Yes. Can you tell him to search and give him a cookie? Look at that. Good job. Very good. Of course, I don't want Mochi to be afraid of my toddler and to be scared of any interactions with her. So, you know, controlling those interactions, teaching him how to do proper reinforcement strategies with search cookies and teach him is real important. But also, I don't want him to ever feel like he's going to get hurt by her, and she can get a little wild and crazy at times. And I want to make sure that he understands he gets reinforcement for when she's wild and crazy, so he doesn't get nervous about that behavior, but also that I control her in that situation and tell her how to behave and work around dogs and not to be so reckless or so excitable around dogs and to control. So I want to end with a really good reinforcement game called Cookies in the Corner. And those that maybe are struggling with their dog, not wanting to bring things back or play fetch or just play with toys in general, this game might be for you if you have a dog that's highly motivated for food, but not so much with toys. So how this game is going to start off is you're going to get a corner. or hallway, and you're going to basically be able to control how far they can go. But you just get their basic food or kibble or some treats, and you throw it into the corner, say search. And when they turn back around, you say, yes, good boy, and give them another cookie. Now, I would probably be more kind of boxed in with him, but I want to make sure that you guys can see what's happening on the camera. Yeah, say search. Yeah, good job helping me out. Yeah, search. Yes, good boy. And the whole thing is go get something in the corner, and then come back for reinforcement. Search. There you go. Good job. Search.
Get it, go.
Get it, I'll get it. Go.
It's more.
There's more. Search. Come help me out. Get it. Good boy. Nice job. This next piece of the demonstration might get tricky with the toddler because it's going to involve half the puzzle or half the training treats. If you can get your dog to do this next part without food, it can be helpful at times. But if your dog needs the food still, it's great. What you're going to do is you're going to get them real excited about this toy or whatever, throw it into the corner, and now we've built a pattern of turning around and coming back. We're going to say yes, and then give them a treat. Good job. Thank you. You want to come help me? Sit down right here. Right here. Ready? Ready? Yeah, good boy. Give them lots of pets and praise. Tell them they're such good puppies. Good job. Maybe give them a cookie. Good job. But this is how you develop one. This is just one of the many different ways to develop, yeah, good boy, the fetch game or playing with toys and reinforcing them. Of course, we talked about different ways of engaging your dog's with toys throughout each of the weeks that we've talked about. And in different videos I've done on my YouTube channel, I've done even a full playlist on reward games you can play with your dog that you can check out right here. But it's important. Get your dog involved with toys. And there's a bunch of different games I have. And if you have any questions about it, just let me know in the comment section down below. So like I stated previously in other videos, I like a Batman's tool belt of reinforcement, not just food, but toys, pets, praise, all that stuff. Really helps our dog to stay engaged with us while we're training with them in multiple environments. Thanks for joining us here on the Doggie Dojo. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video that we're doing here on the channel. I hope you guys have been enjoying this series. If there's anything specific that you want me to cover in future series or future videos, let me know. Otherwise, have some fun with your dogs and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.